Ah, the open ocean. What could be more relaxing? I'll tell you what would help. What if sea trash floated by me forever? Ooh, what if I didn't know where I was or where I was going? I don't know. There has to be something that would make this trip more relaxing. But what could it be? Yeah, I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, we're playing Raft. We're doing a Raft playthrough. I've played Raft once or twice before, so I decided to up the difficulty this time. Albeit, I have no clue what hard mode entails. Does it mean that I starve faster? Dehydrate quicker? Do the sharks bite harder? I don't know, but I decided to call my world Maple World in honor of my cat, Maple. Aww. I have a couple plans for this playthrough, but the first one is survive. So with that, let's get underway. I spawn into my tropical dystopia and immediately get to work. Barrel right off the bat. That's a good omen. A lot of my early game was getting my bearings about me. I hadn't played Raft in a while, and I did figure out that hard mode made me starve and dehydrate faster. I practiced my plastic hook throwing until my nemesis appeared. You can kind of watch me fumble with stuff until I found the spear. That would be a recurring theme in this playthrough. Anyways, I played the fishing game until I had enough chutzpah to craft my water purifier so I would not dehydrate to death. I then crafted a paddle so I could paddle to more loot. I then got my barbecue grill up and running. With food cooking, night falling, and no way to sleep, I thought about what I wanted out of this Raft. Let's talk goals. Raft has within it a mystical lore and curious story, that of which I do not know because I've never beaten the game. But there is one item that I do know of, and one that I would get my hands on: the engine. See, some people would care about the hidden story in a game, and I would too, on a different day, in a different playthrough, but not this one. Today we're focusing solely on our ship. We don't have time for story. You're at Dad's house today, kid, so get ready to get to work. Now hand me the crescent wrench. No, the one to your left. That's your right, your left. Further. No, that's a screwdriver. You know, yes, okay, that one. Sorry. As the sun rose on day 2, I fished for untold treasures. I read on technologies I did not yet understand, and I beat back the beast. In Raft, the name of the game is Technological Advancement, via Discovery. Blueprints are found to tell you what to craft, but to get the resources, you have to find them. But when wandering in the open ocean, we have no compass, so find them, how do we? I floated adrift until I spotted an island upon the horizon, and this time I was able to craft myself a rock anchor to keep my raft still. I paddled so that my trajectory lined up with the island, and I chucked my rock anchor. I quickly crafted myself a stone axe and did a little bit of minecrafting on the island. Once I gathered all the wood that I could gather, I headed back to my raft to make preparations to journey below the surface. But before I did, something miraculous happened. See, I knew that being underwater would be a problem with the beast around. Every now and then he would come up and try and eat a bit of my raft, and I would beat him off with the spear. Pause. But now, after countless spear beatings, I saw that he was looking a little bloody. So just before I was about to jump into the water, he yammed my raft, looking pretty bad, and I killed him after like 2 hits. And not only did I get a bunch of shark meat, which was great because of the whole hard mode starving thing, but also he was gone, or at least a little bit, and so I could dive freely, and dive freely I did. While underwater, I found bountiful treasures, mainly sand and clay, which is exactly what I needed. Sand and clay craft wet bricks. Wet bricks placed on the raft create dry bricks, and dry bricks create the smelter. I won't go into everything that we get when we get the smelter, but I'm sure you can imagine what it does. Smelts. I ended my enemy-free underwater escapade and came back to reality. Or rather, my escapade was ruined for me when the shark returned. No. Wait. With our wet bricks now drying into dry bricks, that means our technology was advancing, and so I saw now a good time to craft a research table. I put the table down just in time to start starving, so I finished off some watermelon, cooked a little bit of shark, and got to researching. God damn it, she does not stop. Oh my god. When the shark wasn't stopping me, that is. Researching was a fun sort of lottery. You research any specific item and unlock advancements that way. I quickly researched everything I had and went on the hunt for more. And with my research, I was able to gather the materials to craft a bed and sleep through my first night. And then the shark completely woke me up. I hate him. I seriously... Okay. I found my way to the next island to do a little bit more diving because I would need more clay and sand for bricks so I could make the smelter. I learned that the shark liked to hover around the raft, so one of my favorite workarounds was to go to the other side of the island that I was currently on and start diving there. And while diving, I found my first metal ore. Yippee! That would be the first thing that I would smelt. I found a little bit of sand and a little bit of clay, but not enough, and I knew that I would have to go back to the other side of the island and face the music, so I did. I needed to dive. This shark was holding me back from progressing, so I thought if I could hug this wall perfectly, hug the raft perfectly, I could trick the pathfinding, and I might be able to land a few hits. It looked like my pathfinding trick was working as the shark phased in and out of the ground, but I could not land a single hit on this thing because it was too darn fast. I tried to get closer and do a matador situation where I would jump out of the way at the last minute, but it was not working, and I was gonna die. So I decided to cut my losses and jump back on the raft. Getting into the water with the shark was stupid and going to get me killed. So I decided to stay on the raft, fish for food, and stay by this island, waiting for the shark to take pieces out of my raft so that I could get some guaranteed hits on him with the spear. Bite after bite and spear after spear, my strategy eventually worked, and I was able to buy myself a little bit more free diving time. After gathering more materials for my smelter, I headed back out into the open ocean. But to my dismay, the shark had come back, and this time, he brought a friend. Fuck off. Get out of here. Fuck you. Oh God, he did so much damage. What? How is he back? There cannot be two. Yes, past me, who was shocked and without a spear, there was indeed two sharks. While things were becoming a little bit more stressful for me with two sharks now knocking at my door, I set my sights on bigger things, or should I say bigger islands, and to get there I crafted myself my first sail. I unfurled my sail and bounced around to a couple islands, knowing that one of the next islands that I would stop at would be my big one. However, the double sharks made everything harder, especially diving, and because there were two, just killing one wouldn't do anymore. So into the night I fished off of this island until I had enough fish to create a shark bait. I fished for so long so I could afford two shark baits because there are naturally two sharks, but I just wasted one because both of the sharks just got the one bait. So, okay, anyways. While the sharks were distracted, I dove. While my time was short, I collected what I could and then back into the open ocean. It was like this for a while, rinsing and repeating until I stumbled upon what I was looking for. I approached the island looking primarily for wood because the smelter needed wood, the raft needed wood now that the sharks were eating it, my spears needed wood that I needed to repair it. Everything needed wood, so I crafted an axe and got down to business. Another perk of the island is that I could jump to the other side and begin free diving as the sharks would be preoccupied all the way on this side of the island by my raft. I dipped my toes before a shocking realization hit me, and that was that there was a dinosaur level bird right above me. Not only that, but it was very pissed off and dropping gigantic boulders on my head, so that was a problem. How accurate can one giant pissed off dinosaur bird really be though? So it was fine. I disregarded the bird, its rock dropping a warning that I did not heed, and I kept exploring. I found treasures, beautiful enemy-free tide pools, a freak-ass little bird that I could not hit and was much slower than. I ran back to my shark-infested raft, killing one of the sharks, and then finishing off the rest of my dry bricks, meaning now I could finally craft the smelter. I put the beast to work instantly, thinking only engine thoughts. I knew I needed more of those blueprints, and I was hungry to find more. I thought that there may be one or two on the island somewhere, so I explored. I searched the banks, I searched low, I searched high, and I disregarded the looming threat over my head the entire time. I came face to face with the beast, but I wouldn't let fear stop me. I knew there were mysteries on this island that I could solve. The bird hit me, and I was down to less than half health with one hit. Despite my pain, I pushed forwards. It was either make it back to my raft with blueprints that I knew were here, or die trying. I was hurt, and if I could get just one mango from this tree, I could heal up and keep looking. But then, it happened. You see that mouse movement there? The clicking back and forth, that's the mouse movement of denial. Where, can I ask you something, where on this main screen on hard does it say one life only? Because I sure as hell didn't know. I didn't know any of that, and so when I died, I was looking for ways to restore the... When I started the video, I told you were at Dad's house, and around here, we do things the hard way. So that's the end of the run. But I'm gonna try again. And you're coming with me. Well, my, what a bite-sized little video. Wasn't supposed to be that way. If I wouldn't have died, it wouldn't have been that... Anyways, I'm still sour about it. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Please comment and let me know what you thought about it. I'm still trying to learn, so the comments and the shit talking helps me literally more than anything else. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and I will see you in the next one.